Blessed are you, Yahweh, the blessed one for all eternity. Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, who selected us from all the peoples and gave us your Torah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, giver of the Torah, to our King, to our provider, to our healer, to our sustainer, to our deliverer, to our Savior, to our Elohim, to the one who provides, to the giver of life and the taker of the same. Do we come before you today, Master, at the Elohim of Avraham, the Elohim of Yitzchak, and the Elohim of Yisrael? Do we come before you with bowed head and humble hearts, asking you and begging you, O King, that you will forgive us of our sins, cleanse us of unrighteousness, Master, that our prayers be not hindered this morning, but that you would hear our cries, O Master, and that you would turn not a deaf ear to our supplications, but hear when we call unto you. For we know that you are a keeper of your covenant, and you said in your word that no other nation as Israel has an Elohim like you that hears your people every time they call upon you. So we ask this morning, Master, that the words of our mouth and the meditation of all of our collective hearts would be acceptable in thy sight. For we gather, Master, in your name. We gather because you have told us that we shall do work in 6 days, and on the seventh day we shall rest, and that we should have a convocation on this day, Master. So we ask that you would look upon us as your people, as a collective group, for you know all of our needs, and you know of all of our desires, Master, and you will look upon us as individual families, but we are still one clan. We are Israel, and we meet out of fear and out of love and out of obedience to thy word. Master, we just ask that you would look upon those that may be gathered with us online today, that may not, the distance may have been too far to travel, that they may be sick in their bodies and they could not make this journey, Master. And we are in the land of our enemies, Master. We're in a land of exile, and there may be some, Master, that would wish to gather, and you know the hearts of men, but they may have to work because we are still under the influence of the slave master, because we are in the land of our enemies. And we thank you, O King, that you have brought us out of idolatry and that you have opened up our minds and our understanding to thy word. And we ask that you would continue to guide the leadership of this house, Master, that we may continue to grow in you, and that our lives and understanding of thy word and the application of it may be pleasing unto thy sight. Master, we ask that you would touch those that may be sick in their bodies. We ask that you would, Master, that you would continue to heal the Holman family as they had a loss this week, Master. And we ask that you would continue to heal them and bind them together, Master, with cords of love that cannot be broken, that there may be some understanding, Master, and there may be a collective understanding in their minds, Master, that we are one family, and you are about family, O King. Master, we just thank you for the people that are gathered here today and the families that are represented. We just ask that you would continue to heal us. We thank you for watching over our children as they traverse throughout this land all week long, and you brought them home to us safely. We thank you, O King, that we've heard no bad news from relatives near nor far, Master, but thou art healer, thou art conqueror, O King, thou art our Savior, Master, and we just ask that you would continue to show us your truth, that we may grow in you, and that you would not forget us when you gather your treasured possession, that you would include us in the number, O King. And although our lives may not be perfect, O King, and that we may not always obey thy Torah because we are in exile, Master, but that we also have a desire to be with you back in the land on that great day, O King. We just ask that you would continue to keep us and heal us until we can meet here again. This is our prayer. Amen.
It's good to be here in the house of the Most High once again, be able to gather and share and learn and talk about the things that the Most High wants us to know and hear. The helium, that would be Psalms chapter number 33. Join with me if you would. Rejoice in Yahweh, you righteous. Praise is well suited to the upright. Give thanks to Yahweh with the lyre. Sing praises to him with a 10-string harp. Sing to him a new song. Make music at your best among shouts of joy. For the word of Yahweh is true, and all his work is trustworthy. He loves righteousness and justice. The earth is full of the grace of Yahweh. By the word of Yahweh the heavens were made, and their whole host by the breath of his mouth. He collects the sea waters together in a heap. He puts the deeps in storehouses. Let all the earth fear Yahweh. Let all living in the world stand in awe of him. For he spoke, and there it was. He commanded, and there it stood. Yahweh brings to nothing the plans of nations. He foils the plans of the peoples. But the counsel of Yahweh stands forever. His heart's plans are for all generations. How blessed is the nation whose Elohim is Yahweh, the people he chose as his heritage. Yahweh looks out from heaven. He sees every human being from the place where he lives. He watches everything living on earth. He who fashioned the hearts of them all and understands all they do. A king is not saved by the size of his army, a strong man not delivered by his great strength. To rely on a horse for safety is vain, nor does its great power assure escape. But Yahweh's eyes watch over those who fear him, over those who wait for his grace to rescue them from death and keep them alive in famine. We are waiting for Yahweh. He is our help and shield, for in him our hearts rejoice. Because we trust in his set-apart name, may your mercy, Yahweh, be over us, because we put our hope in you. Amen. You may be seated. It's good to be here with you all once again today and to be able to gather in this place the Most High has provided for us. I pray that everybody has had a wonderful, wonderful week. And we are the people of the Most High El. There is no greater people than what we have here as we look today and as we see each other. Let's see here. Today is going to be a little eclectic. You know what eclectic means? It's going to be kind of going to go a few places here. This is one of the things that I am concerned about is the fact that we are very pro-mitzvot. We endeavor to live by them, guard our lives, and make proper application to the things that the Most High wants us to know in maintaining Israel. We'll wait a minute till we get things straightened out here. I want to talk about something, first of all. I want to talk about something, first of all, that is germane to the mitzvot that I think that we neglect to pay too much attention to. And that is our giving and our support for Israel. I want to go to I'm going to go to Leviticus. So I'm going to start in Leviticus chapter number 27 today. Like I said, this is going to be eclectic. It's going to bounce over a couple of things. And we're going to look at verse number 30. For the most part, we've been doing a pretty decent job. But on one side and another hand, we're kind of a little off. And it has to do with our giving. The text in Leviticus chapter 27 and verse 30 opens with these words. All the tenth given from the land, whether from plant seed or fruit from trees, belongs to Yahweh. It is set apart for Yahweh. If someone wants to redeem any of his tenth, he must add to it 1/10. All the tenth from the herd or the flock, whatever passes under the shepherd's crook, the 10th one will be set apart to Yahweh. The owner is not to inquire whether the animal is good or bad, or he cannot exchange it. If it does exchange it, both it and one of the substitute for it will be set apart. It cannot be redeemed. These are the mitzvot which Yahweh gave to Moshe for the people of Israel on Mount Sinai. As I look at some things and I'm watching what we're doing, some of us are doing our best to adhere to that particular mitzvot, and we kind of treat it kind of willy-nilly. The 10th of the tithe is something that Hebrew Israel is supposed to give. Not when you feel like it, but according to the text the Most High has given us that says that 10th belongs to Him, and we are supposed to give it. We don't pay. Every time I got to pay my tithe. We don't pay tithes. We give it. The Most High asks us to bring it, the 10th. Who's it for? It's Numbers chapter 18. Let's look at verse 21. To the descendants of Levi, I have given the entire 10th of the produce collected in Israel. It is their inheritance and payment for service they render in the tent of meeting. So what has happened is that in the Christian circle, they use this particular text here in support of their leaders. And since the law for them has been done away with, nobody in the Christian church should be given any tithes. But we're Hebrew Israel. So the descendants of Levi are supposed to be given the entire tenth. So you say, well, we don't have any Leviim in exile. Well, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Let's go to Numbers chapter 3 and verse 11, I think it is. And Yahweh said to Moshe, I have taken the Leviim from among the people of Israel in lieu of every firstborn male, that is, first from the womb among the people of Israel. Now watch the next verse, the rest of it. The Levium are to be mine, okay? All the firstborn males belong to me, because on the day that I killed all the firstborn males in Egypt, I separated from myself all the firstborn males in Israel, both human and animal. They are mine. So, by text, your moray belongs to the Most High. I'm the firstborn of my family, and being the firstborn of my family, I could also be considered a Leviim. If I was in Israel, having not been redeemed for anything else, I would be considered a Leviim. So we have the issue of bringing the tithe from the sources that the Most High has indicated, and in this exile, we don't have any of those things. Some of us may have land and fruit and things of that nature that we can bring, but that translates into, for us, into money, 10th of your income. The Most High asks us to bring to Him, it belongs to Him. Now, I'm not teaching this lesson because I need money. I'm good. The house needs money. Malachi, favorite Malachi. Malachi chapter 3 and beginning at verse number 6. Malachi chapter 3, verse beginning at 6. He says, but because I, Yahweh, do not change, you sons of Yaakov will not be destroyed. Since the days of your forefathers you have turned from my laws and have not kept them. Return to me, and I will return to you, says Yahweh Sabaoth. But you ask, in what respect are we supposed to return? Question. Can a man rob El? Yet you rob me. But you ask, how have we robbed you? And he says, in tents and voluntary contributions. There we have it. So we want to be Torah compliant in everything we do. We want to be excellent in it. And we're hard on all the other mitzvot. This one right here, man, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll give what I feel like giving. But he says here, how have you robbed me? Intense and voluntary contributions. That's offerings and tithes. Your service does not count as tithes. It's because you serve and work in the ministry. You can't substitute service for tithes and offerings and voluntary offerings. So we're required by Torah text to give our offerings and to give our tithes so that there will be sustenance and be the resources in Israel to take care of Israel. One of the things that the Most High asks us not to do, he says, you're not supposed to go to Egypt to get your resources. The resources are supposed to come from within the house of Israel. Israel's supposed to learn how to take care of Israel. We've done a pretty good job, but I just need to remind us that this is not, when we don't do this, you're breaking a mitzvot that the Most High has asked for us to do. While the tithe is for the Leviim and those that serve in the house, in this exile, because we don't get the voluntary offerings like we need, we have to commingle the monies in order to keep the house running. And or if we were going to buy or build our own facility, accumulation of all those monies would have to show up for the bank to approve us for a loan. So I couldn't say, well, the greatest portion of the 10th is in my pocket. And I need the rest of them to, I need you all to give. My pocket getting large. Moray don't operate that way. I don't operate that way. And I even hate, well, shouldn't say hate. I don't even like talking about money. But Charles knows. I don't like talking about money. But I have to when it comes to the operation of the house, keeping the doors open, the lights on, paying the insurances, and all the things that are necessary that give us this opportunity to meet in this wonderful place that the Most High has given us to meet. So I want you to keep that in mind. So we're just going to be a little eclectic today. That's Doxy Part 1. So we're going to go down here and we're going to start today's lesson. Happy to see all of those of you that are here today, and my dear little sister that's come to visit back home for a minute from Atlanta. Glad to see you. Issues of the Heart, Part 2. We talked about the opening part of this, and my goodness, I don't have we talked about the opening of this a few weeks ago. And I'm going to try to bring all of that into today's lesson. We're not going to be long, I don't think. What I'm going to teach today, or say today, is for your ability to think about and to consider. Contemplation and consideration. I want you to contemplate and I want you to consider what I'm going to say today. I'm going to be using Bereshit, that's Genesis chapter 2, verse 16, and chapter 3, verses 1 through 7. And I'm going to be using the history of the nation of Hebrew Israel as my case study. This is going to be a textual, topical, homiletical dissertation. I'm going to be there. What are the things that really are happen in the lives of every individual that's here? You have a mind. You have thoughts. Since the day of creation, the Creator has imparted to us the ability to process information. Listen to what I'm saying. He's given us the ability to process information and to make right choices, to choose. He's given us the ability to choose. I set before you good and evil. You can choose. I've given you the example of two mountains, Mount Ebal and the other mountain, which I can't think about right now. Huh? Yes. One's green, one's dry. I'm giving you the ability to see where life is and where life is not. I'm giving you the ability to choose. The Most High is not in the business of forcing anybody to do anything. The Most High is not the WWW, the Worldwide Wrestling. He's not going to arm wrestle you to make you do anything. I'm going to put before you so that you can see choice. And I'm going to give you examples of what's good, what's not good, and I'm going to give you the ability to make a choice. You can choose. I'm also going to give you a visual look so that your choices can be based on things that are germane that you can see. We're going to talk about the sensory system. From the moment a baby comes forth from the womb, looks around, and that tiny little mind begins to process information. When it comes out of the womb, its eyes open, and you see the baby, the eyes are going here and to and fro, and what that baby is doing coming out of the womb is he's taking in data, he's taking in information. It's kind of like a computer. You take a computer out of the box, set it up, all the hard drive information that causes it to operate is there. When you plug it in and turn it on, it populates. And then after it populates, we begin to add information and data to it that it collects and holds on that hard drive, information that we desire to save for a later time to draw from. So a baby comes out of the womb and he's beginning to process. He looks around, the child's surroundings, the infrastructure begin to dictate the child's actions. All 5 of the senses are alert. It's from that beginning that we begin to form our foundation of understanding. Everything begins coming out of the womb. We begin to form our basis of understanding. Okay, are you going to do this for me or what? I don't want that. There we go. So we've talked about the brain in our first dissertation on this issue of the heart and what have you. The cerebrium supports higher order functions such as thinking and learning, memory, language, emotion, movement, and perception. The cerebellum helps with posture, balance, and has recently been suggested to be also involved in learning and inspiration. So what we have here in this brain here, we have all of the structure that's associated with how we define the spirit, the heart, and the mind. Everything is collected in here. This is where the Most High talks to us. This is where thoughts and information comes in from all the sources that help us to begin to formulate different ideas. Everything that impacts our being is who we are. What we think is filtered through the brain. The brain controls the 5 senses: seeing, hearing, tasting, feeling, and smell. The brain houses the spirit, the mind, the heart, through which information received manifests in our life. Comes all out of that system. All of life's history is stored in the brain. Thought comes from everywhere at once. What is thought? Where do thoughts come from? What are they? Thoughts come from everywhere at once. Your neurons fire, your soul receives, your life experiences shapes, and Yahweh breathes it all into one seamless moment of awareness. Thoughts. Right now, you're thinking. Right now, you're thinking and you're processing. You're processing from a sensory perception of what you're hearing, and you're processing what you're seeing. You are the living meeting point of science, spirit, and the divine. And our spirit draws on that history as it processes new information, storing it away. Through the brain, we synthesize old and new information on a matter and formulate our thoughts and our opinions. When the brain is damaged, all of that goes away. One of the things that the scripture teaches us, and it speaks to us about learning how to guard your heart. Well, if your heart is part of this sensory organ up here that's called your brain, then what I have to learn how to do is I have to learn how information comes into this system and is stored. And I have control of what comes in and what goes out. The Most High has given me the ability to think and to rationalize. But you have to remember that we've got a lot of information that's being stored from the day we come out of the womb. And from the day we come out of the womb, we're making thoughts, we're making decisions, we're making what our eyes see, what our ears hear. And that builds and continues to build. Things we have been taught during our lifetime pass through this synthesized process. Oh, come on. This thing is not working for me today. I don't like this. There we go. It is not working for me today. Huh?
That's me. Here. That's him more, right? Use this button. Left, right.
Vernice, you know, don't you? You know. The two main senses are the eye gate and the ear. Issues that enter the eye are written on our minds, and they enter into our spirits. What we hear follows the same process. What we hear is written on our mind, and it enters our spirits. Depending on how information is received, in light of information already formed over time, new information will be evaluated, either received or it will be rejected. If the information that's already written on our mind is adverse to it, then it's going to reject that new information or it's going to accept it. Every action that we do is a result of our senses' perception of rational thought, what our eyes see, what our ears hear, and what our hands touch. So now, with that all being the backdrop of how a human being functions in thought and things that enter into our brain where our spirit resides, and our brain where our mind resides, and our brain where our heart resides. So we have our spirit heart. Now remember the last time that I talked about this particular subject, I told you that the things that enter our spirit enter our mind and are manifested in our heart, enter into our heart, and they're manifested out in action. So my thoughts that I have are going to go through that process very quickly, and as it moves very quickly, there's going to be an action that's going to take place based upon all this stuff that's going on up here in the brain. My brain is where the Ruach resides. The Ruach is part of the makeup of man. I don't care whether you're good, bad, or indifferent, the Ruach, the Spirit of the Most High, is a part of man. And the problem being, while that's the case, how we process thoughts and actions and how we think about things based on the historical gathering of data is going to determine how that Ruach is going to manifest in our being, or whether it's going to be blocked out. Simply because it's blocked out does not mean it's not there. It's like a computer. You can delete something, but somewhere you can go back and get it and reestablish it. In our minds, the Most High is waiting for us to activate that part of acceptance of the Ruach and acceptance of the Spirit. He waits for that because he's given you the ability of choice to choose. Are you going to choose to do right? Or based upon what you see around you, your environment and your thought and your actions, are you going to choose to do that which is wrong? And I wait for you. I wait for you to make a choice. I wait for you to have a willing heart. But the willing heart is going to come based upon data that's written on that mind of accumulation that gives me the ability to stop and think about what's good and what's right and what's wrong, what's bad. How do all these things come about? Our case study is going to begin with, if I can get it there. Why is this board giving me a fit today? I'm not liking it. We're going to start here in Bereshit, which is Genesis chapter 2:15. I want you to consider with me. What I say we're going to talk about, we're doing this to contemplate and to consider. Elohim took the person, put him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate and care for it. Elohim gave the person this order. Listen to the order. You may freely eat from every tree in the garden except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Now you need to underscore that. That's the instruction. Instruction is what? You may eat freely from every tree in the garden except the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You are not to eat from it, because on the day that you eat from it, it will become certain that you will surely die. Now let's look at something. Let's get here. Let's go to chapter 3. Because in chapter 3, we have the insertion of something that's going to speak. So as this something speaks, the ear sensory is going to hear. Now the serpent was more crafty than any wild animal which Elohim had made. He said to the woman. Did Elohim really say you're not to eat from the tree in the garden? Listen to the woman's answer. The woman answered the serpent, we may eat from the fruit of the trees of the garden. That's correct. But about the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden, Elohim said, you are neither to eat from it nor touch it, or we will die. What's the problem? What's the problem? What's the problem? We got a problem here. Elohim took the person, put him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate and care for it. Elohim gave the person this order: you may freely eat from every tree. Is there anything in that conversation where he talked about touch? No touch in there. So now we're trying to figure out here, what did Eve hear? Or is she embellishing upon what the Most High said? Because if she's embellishing upon what the Most High said, then her action and what she's saying is going to open up a door and a window for her to hear something else. The serpent said to the woman, it is not true that you will surely die. Now remember, I want you to keep touch in mind, because Elohim knows that on the day that you eat from it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like Elohim, knowing good and evil. When the woman saw that the tree was good, eye gate, sensory, she saw, she heard, now she's hearing, now she's seeing, that it was good for food, that it had a pleasing appearance, and that the tree was desirable for making one wise. She took some of the fruit and ate. She also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized that they were naked, so they sewed fig leaves together to make themselves loincloths. There's a psychological issue, an issue's response, that sets up the transgression. The fact that she responded by saying what the Most High did not say, adding to the discussion of touching the tree, which the Most High did not say. The serpent relies on the fact that he knows for a fact that by touching the tree she would not die. So the serpent said to her, it's not true that you will not die, but that's related to touching, not eating. So what is she hearing? She now has the experience of realizing, I can touch the tree and I'm not going to die. So the serpent has played on her words of touching. She's lost sight of the fact that eating is what's going to cause the death. By compounding the two factors, one true and one that was not true, all that issue related to was that it's not true, but the fact that it's not true was in the serpent's mind related to the issue of touching the tree. You can touch it and you're not going to die. I believe in her mind, she dismissed the whole factor of death, and she ate of the tree because, and caused her husband to do it, because she touched the tree, she didn't die. So if I touched it and I didn't die, then certainly eating it, I'm not going to die. Why do I bring this up? We have to be very careful when we talk about things about the Most High, and in our mind, not so much out of malice or forethought or intent, but in a way that we are trying to protect. And we add to the point the Most High is making. If the Most High said to us that my word is nigh thee, even in your mouth to do it, and if he also said that it's simple, that even can understand it, then I have to ask you a question. Why is it that we don't understand? Anybody got an answer for me? If it's simple, that we're able to understand and do it, then what's made it so difficult and complex for us that we can't, or that we have to layer it and layer it and layer it and layer it, and now I don't know what to do. When am I supposed? I don't know what to do. And what we have to be careful of is that in our talking about the things of the Most High that he's given us, we have to be careful that we don't become like the Sadducees and the Pharisees, that we feel the need to build this fence around the Father's words to protect us, protect me, and I need to protect everybody else. There is the validity to be able to do something, that is to prove all things. How do we prove all things? How do we prove all things? We prove all things by the text. We prove all things by the history. We can prove all things by the science. And all of that information comes out of the things that are stored up in our brains and in our minds. And the question always has to go back to this question. On any point that we're talking about, an issue, we have to go back to ask ourselves, and we have to analyze it with critical thinking. What did the Most High say? Put a pin in it. What did he say? My explanation of what he said is going to be based upon a combination of data that I've stored in my own mind of understanding. And sometimes I bring that out to try to explain, and then when I bring it out to explain, I kind of add to it. He didn't say this. It's not what he said. But the data that I'm collecting says, well, this is my understanding. One of the things that has gotten Christianity so convoluted is that we hear things that's been said. Where'd you get that from? Where'd you hear that? And then we hear it, and we begin to pass down what we've heard. We pass down what we heard, and we pass down what we heard, and we start quoting things, and somebody asks, where is that in scripture text? What are you saying? Where is that? Well, that's the way I see it. Okay? I may not see it that way. Maybe I'm a literalist. You know what a literalist is? A literalist is one that says, well, this is what it says. That's what I'm going to do. Eve allowed an issue that was not in the text to alter her thought process of the whole thing, where she set aside the eating and combined the eating and the touching with what she was doing, and then contemplated in her mind, well, I touched the tree and I didn't die. Therefore, certainly eating the tree, I'm not going to die either. I said I'm giving this for contemplation and consideration. That's what I said when I opened. This is contemplation and consideration. So as we move forward in this Hebraic way, it's important for us as teachers and leaders of the Hebraic community to be able to rightly divide and defend the statements that we make with proper text. That's all I got. That's all I got, class. If I can't defend what I'm saying with text, then you can look at me sideways. Because now you're going to ask me, well, so now what else you going to come up with? And just because I'm the more speaking, you know, we pass Christianity. Just because I said it, don't make it so. As the more has aptly said, sometimes I can be wrong. Our goal is to be right. And our goal is to be right upon proper critical thought and application of the Father's text as, now watch this now, I cannot lean to my own understanding. Is the Father's word spirit? Is the Father's word spirit? If the Father's word is spirit, and his spirit is within me, then I ought to be able to go to the Spirit and ask the Spirit to give me a proper understanding. Help me to understand. And if the Spirit is going to give me proper understanding, you know what it's not going to do? It's not going to contradict itself. And it's not going to go all the way around Robin's Red Barn to make a point. It's going to bring me to the center of the point. It's going to give me the explanation. And guess what it's going to? It's going to open my eyes, my sensory perception, so that I can see. Because the one thing I don't want to do, and none of the Morays want to do, I don't want to lead you astray. And I don't want to guide you down a path based upon my perception, if my perception is off. I don't want to do that. You know why I don't want to do that? Because the Most High really don't care that you got it wrong. If you're leading his people off the track, he doesn't care that you got it wrong, and he will hold us accountable as he held Israel accountable. What did he tell Israel? You Leviim, told the prophet, you Leviim are responsible for leading my people astray. You're responsible. You're the one that's leading them astray. Because each one of you, you listen. What are you doing? You're bringing in and hearing. You're hearing. You're adding data to your sensory perception. You're seeing and you're weighing the thoughts. And so when things come, you're either going to receive them or you're going to reject them based upon the data that's there. And what we're trying to do right now, we're trying to put good data in your system. So you'll know what to reject and what not to reject. You'll know what to question, what not to question, and you'll raise your hand and say, can you give me an explanation of what you're talking about? And can you tell me where it's found? Because if we add to a little thing that the Most High has said for us, it alters the whole thing. It does. It alters the whole thing. And now we have a belief system that's kind of like, well, now we start playing the children's game. Moray Appleton,
Yes, sir.
so and so and so and so and so and so. What do you think?
The children.
Mora, so and so and so and so. What do you think? Now, and Moray Holman, what do you think? So now, what am I trying to do? Now I'm going to start playing the Morays between each other. No. We should all be on one accord, with one mind, with one thought, and that one mind and one thought should resonate with back to what did the Most High say? I'm offering this for what? Consideration and contemplation. That's all. I want us to contemplate. I want us to think. I want us to understand that as leaders of people and standing before you, this is a grave job. Your lives are depending upon what comes out of our mouth. Because what you hear and what you see is coming into your spirit, and you're processing it. And you think, well, now this is the way we're supposed to do it. Most I didn't say I got to wear white. Somebody, well, we got to wear white. White for what? Where did he say wear white? He didn't say wear white. Matter of fact, if he said anything, he spoke to the Levium and told them to put on linen garments, and over the linen garments, he gave us something to put on. Well, I ain't got that. Well, it's Day of Atonement. We should all wear white. Where that at? Well, that's what we do. Well, no, that's not what we do. I'm only offering things to you to think about, contemplate, be considerate, understand. When we open our mouths to you, your lives are in the balance. You're weighing and swinging on everything that we say. Let me go somewhere else. So, what we have here, if I can get to it, in Bereshit chapter 2, and verse 3, we have these things. The serpent spoke to the woman. The woman heard, the woman tasted, the woman saw, and she also touched. So with that, we have the issues of what's taking place. Is this board moving slow? Okay, there we go. If I turn this in a little bit, will you all be able to see on this side? I think okay. So we're back to these issues here. We're back to this issue of the senses being able to see. These two sensory elements of man are the main pathway to the mind, every issue germane to Israel's rebellion. I'm going to say this again. Every issue germane to Israel's rebellion centers around these two parts of the human makeup. The eye caused them to see and distract them, as did hearing. The combination of both caused their rebellion. There are many texts to prove this. All you have to do is pick one, do an analysis of critical thought and deduction. So let's take our first rebellion and note that all their rebellion follow the same pattern. What? Seeing and hearing. Let's go to Shemot chapter 32. 32. And we've gone too far. Let's back it up. I say Shemot. Shemot 32, 1 through 6. Now we're going to take another study here in the action of the mind. When the people did what? Saw. So now we have the issue of what? What they're perceiving in their eyes, what they saw. It was taking a long time for Moshe to come down from the mountain. They gathered around Aharon and said to him, "Get busy, make us gods, and go ahead of us, because this Moshe, the man that brought us up from the land of Egypt, we don't know what has become of him." And Aaron said to them, "Have your wives and sons and daughters strip off their gold earrings and bring them to me." So the first issue in this rebellion starts with what? What they saw. The people stripped off their gold earrings and brought them to Aharon. He received what they had gave him, melted it down, and made it into the shape of a calf. They said, "Israel, here is your God, who brought you up from the land of Mitzrayim." On what's again what we're doing, seeing. Aaron built the altar in front of it and proclaimed, "Tomorrow is to be a feast for Yahweh." Early the next morning they got up, offered the burnt offerings, and presented the peace offerings. Afterwards the people sat down to eat and drink, and they got up to indulge. Now, this case study takes us back to our opening point. Data from Egypt, to which the nation was exposed early in existence, is playing a major role in its actions. What we saw in Mitzrayim, what we heard in Mitzrayim, Their minds were processing past events, stored data. Part of the nation was able to move forward while another part was destroyed, stuck in the past, unable to see the reality of their change in status as free people led by the opulent spirit of Yahweh. What clouded their minds was their 430 years of experience in an idolatrous land. What did what? What clouded their minds was 430 years in an idolatrous land. Data is stored up in here of what they were engaged in for 430 years. They're processing data of their past, unable to recognize and see what their future was going to be. Based on the data of their mind, they reverted back to where they were. Tell me what's different today with the nation. The nation at large has mainly been in an adversarial position with the Most High, primarily because of what their eyes have seen, what their ears have heard. It's hard to move forward if one's mind is not able to see positive change. Where does all this come from? It comes from thoughts that enter into the mind. It's processing information that's good, but it's stuck on the past, so it can't move forward. I don't want that one. Come on, get back. Where's my mic? No, it is. Come on. Shemot. Shemot, Exodus 6 and 6. And now let's leave that part of Israel's problem where it's a mind issue. It's a data issue. I can't see. I can't rationalize that the Most High I can't rationalize what the real issue is. So let's look at something. Exodus chapter 6. Therefore, say to the people of Israel, I am Yahweh. Now here's what they can't rationalize. I will free you from forced labor of the Egyptians, rescue you from their oppression, and redeem you with an outstretched arm with a great judgment. I will take you as my own people. Moshe is saying this to them, right? So what are they doing? They're hearing this, right? They're not able to process what they hear. And I will be your Elohim. Then you will know that I am Yahweh, your Elohim, who freed you from the forced labor of the Egyptians. I will bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob. I will give it to you as your inheritance. I am. The case study in their minds were contemplating or comparing the longevity of their past in Mitzrayim, Egypt, with every positive action of the Most High had spoken to them about their deliverance from oppressions. Their minds did not process the words of promise from the Most High because they were clouded by their history in Mitzrayim, that which they had witnessed through their sensory ecology, seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and their past. Now, you wonder why it is that people cannot move forward when they hear truth. They can't move forward when they hear truth because they're always processing their past. This is what we did. This is what we did in Mitzrayim. And you're trying to give me something else, and it's my data system. My data system is not able to separate that. I'm hear it. Oh, I should be rejoicing. You're going to do what? You're going to free me from forced labor. I should be excited about this. But here I am. I'm out here. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to go back. I want to go back in my mind. It was better when we were in Mitzrayim. Well, how's it better if you're in Mitzrayim? I'm going to free you, but you still want to be a slave. Because I can't see. My system, my mental systems is not enable me to see what's getting ready to change for me that's better. I've always been a Christian. I've always believed that a man is going to die for my sins. That's recorded on the hard drive of my mind, and it's been there all the time. And now here you are telling me that no man can die for my sins. Well, my data system can't identify with that. Oh, you want me to be able to stand on my own? Well, my data system has not taught me to stand on my own. My data system has always taught me that I can do what I want and I can blame it on somebody else and somebody else will pay for it for me. I can't, my brain's not allowing me to understand that. I mean, I've been here. I was born in this. When I opened my eyes, this perception was brought to me. This is all I heard in my house. This is all my father and my. Oh, now you want me to defy my grandmama? This is what my grandmama did. You're telling me, my data system is telling me, they're telling you that your grandmama was wrong. Don't listen to them. Where's all this coming from? Data and information that's stored in your brain, in your mind, that you focused on all these years, and it's not able to process that which is good and understand that Mitzrayim was not good. These are the things that keep many people from embracing the truth of the scriptures. They have lived too long under a misguided ideology that holds the Greek idea to be better than the Hebrew ideology. They have been indoctrinated into believing that the new Greek idea eradicates the words of the Most High. I mean, after all, who is the Most High that he should change my information that I have in my brain? Micah. Woe to those who think of evil and plan wickedness as they lie in bed. When the morning comes, they do it, since they have it in their power. Remember, thoughts comes from everywhere at once. It is coupled with our sensory perception. Our neurons fire. Your soul receives your life experience, and your life experience shapes, and Yahweh breathes it into one seamless moment of awareness. You are a living meeting point of science, spirit, and the divine. Thought. So, do you think that in every instance of Israel's rebellion, that those people did that? Do you think? I mean, the only way you can rebel is you have to give thought to it. And the only way you're going to give thought to it is you're going to have to meditate upon it, and you're going to have to think about it, and you're going to have to plan it. So do you think that the nation at large individually did that? Every case study that you're going to pull up about Hebrew Israel's rebellion is going to be based on that text right there. Because the issue is, they're thinking up evil. Anything that opposes the Most High's plan and his way is what? Is it good or is it bad? Is it good or evil? It's rebellion. Rebellion is evil. Where does it come from? It comes from thoughts that enter my mind. From what I what? From what I see. Oh, I see these people over here. They got a king. We don't got no king. I hear these people over here worshiping. I see them and I hear them worshiping their God. My brain is recording, their brains are recording all this. What do I think? Oh, I think we ought to have the same thing they have. Because after all, look at them. What is it? Eye gate, ears, sensory perception. So I lie and I think and I meditate. You have the choice to be able to meditate upon those things. I'm going to go across the street because it's a good prose. It's a good proverb. This is a good proverb, across the street. It's a good one. Whatsoever things, oh yeah, you know that one. Whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are pure, I'm paraphrasing, whatsoever things are of a good report, if there be any virtue, I should do what? I should be thinking on those things. That's good advice. So now, if I know that the Most High is good, and he has given me good instruction, and he has a plan for me that he's laid out for me, what am I going to do? I'm going to free you from forced labor. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make your life a whole lot better. I should be erasing all the bad data and taking in the good stuff. And my meditation should be upon the good plans that the Most High has for me. But the data center in my mind clashes. So now I gotta go across the street again. I gotta go across the street again. So the spirit and my flesh are at war with each other. The spirit up here in my mind, the spirit and my mind are wrestling over what's good and what's not good. And it's going like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. So it chooses the pattern of the old. Why? Because it's comfortable with the old. Why don't people go to Shabbat service? Because we've never done that before. That's what they told me. We've never done that. I wasn't raised going to Sabbath service. We go to Sunday church. I mean, we're used to going shopping on the Shabbat. I mean, my husband washes the car on the Shabbat. We cut the grass on Saturday. You mean you want me to stop going to Shabbat? You want me to stop washing the car? You want me to stop cutting the grass to come to Shabbat? No, we don't do that. Daily, this process, that's part of the sensory perception that I've had when? Ever since I opened my eyes and in my family circle. That's all I ever heard. And now you're going to tell me that we're supposed to do this? My brain, my spirit can't process that. It's not that I don't want to. I just got negative data up in here that's not allowing me to make that change and make that shift. Why? Because somebody in history did this. Somebody did that. They did that, and they passed it along to me. Yes. And give me a mic so I can hear you, because I don't have my ears on today. Got to talk loud.
Didn't have a question, but it's Shabbat Shalom, Yisrael. But I didn't have a question. It's more of a statement. But I was just gonna say that that religion is man-made, and that Yahweh established His covenant. He didn't make a religion, and the fact that religion is man-made. That's these are men's thoughts that they're writing down, these mythologies and these other elves that they're creating themselves. Yahweh established His covenant with His people. He defines Himself. We don't define Him, and He chose us. We didn't choose to make our own L and make our own.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. We get back to the issue of choice. And what is he provided for us? What in every instance, for those whose minds and eyes are open to see. The writer in Malachi gives us these words, and I don't know exactly where it is. He says these words, then you will be able to see the difference between that which is set apart and that which is not set apart. What? Based upon this renewed data that we have of the ways of the Most High. Now, what does the Most High do? He's already told us in text that I am going to test you. So if I'm going to be tested, I got to be tested against something. So I'm going to be tested. Well, I tell you what, let's do this. B, hold that text right there for me because I want to come back to it. Take me to Devarim. It's out of my mind. It's right on the tip of my mind. And when I told you to do that, it disappeared. Yeah, Devarim 13. 13. Devarim 13. If a prophet or someone who gets messages while dreaming arises among you and gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes about as he predicted, which he said, let's follow other elves, which you have not known, and let's serve them. That's what Israel did. You are not to listen to what that prophet or dreamer says. For what? What's he doing? What's he doing? For Yahweh is doing what? Testing you. And guess what? Every righteous person is going to be tested according to their righteousness. You're going to experience something that's going to come into your life that's going to test you as to whether or not you're going to walk in these mitzvot or not. You're going to get tested on it. Something's going to test you. It might be family that's going to test you. It may be something that happens that in doing something you're going to violate a mitzvah, because in your mind you're going to rationalize the thought and the data that's in there. You're going to make a decision. Well, am I going to do this or am I not? Am I going to obey or am I going to obey today? Am I ever going to obey today? Well, and all the seedings go. When it should be a simple task to say, in my mind, based on where I'm at and what I know, what I should do is just obey. Let's just stop all this madness that's going on in my mind. Let's just stop it. Right now, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to. What did he say? What did he say? What did he say? Obey. The first thought should come into my mind is what? Obey. So yes, the Most High provides things that are there to test us. B, take me back to that other text you had on the wall there, please. Our ability as individuals to walk in perfect harmony with the Most High is based on taking in good data about the Most High. Write it on your minds. What does he say? What does he say to do? Well, he said, write it on your hearts. Well, if I'm writing it on my heart, I'm writing it in my mind. No, you had another one up there. I saw it. No, I've already got that. I've got Micah there. That's okay. That's okay. So, we're going to go to, we're going to go here. Bring me up, 1 Samuel chapter 8. And we're going to start at verse 4. Now, remember, I've given you a pattern. I've given you a pattern of things that that are functioning of data that's already in the mind. Okay? Israel is going to use the same pattern that I've showed you in this example here in Samuel. Okay? I told you, anything at any point of Israel's rebellion, you can use the same thought process. Past data, new data. Am I going to follow the new data, or am I going to stay with the past data? Am I able to change? Am I able to shift and get out of a paradigm into a new paradigm that the Most High has given us? Let's listen. We're going to read a little bit. I'm going to start at verse number 4. All the leaders of Israel gathered themselves together, approached Shemuel in Ramah, and said to him, "Look, you've grown old, and your sons are not following the ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations." Now do what? Do what? Where'd they get that from? Where'd they get that from? Make us a king like all the nations. Where'd they get that? They got that from their sensory perception of being able to see what the other nations were doing. That's the reason why the Most High tells us is don't be like the other nations. What you see them do, you don't do. What you hear them do, you don't do. So they saw, hey, they got it going on over here. They got their God. They got their worshiping going on. We over here. Where's we don't see him. So make us one. Give us one. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. Well, how do they know the nations had kings that were judging them unless they saw and heard it? Samuel was not pleased to hear them say this. Give us a king to judge us. So he prayed to Yahweh. Yahweh said to Samuel, listen to the people, to everything they say to you. For it is not you that they are rejecting, they're rejecting me. They don't want me to be king over them. They are doing to you exactly what they've been doing to me from day one. I brought them out of Egypt until today by abandoning me and they're serving other gods. So what they say, so do what they say, but give them a sober warning, telling them what kinds of rulings their kings will make. So now he's saying to them, he's saying to Samuel, they want this, they want to be like other nations. I want you to tell them what they're getting. Tell them, let them hear, tell them what they're going to be getting. Samuel reported everything Yahweh had said to the people, asking him for a king. He said, here's the kind of rulings your king will make. Now he's telling them. He will draft your sons and assign them to take care of his chariots. Be his horsemen, be his bodyguards, running ahead of his chariots. He will appoint them to serve him as officers in charge of thousands and 50, plowing his fields, gathering the harvest, making his weapons, equipping their chariots. He will take your daughters and have them be perfume makers, cooks, bakers. He will expropriate your fields, vineyards, and olive oils, the very best of them, and hand them over to his servants. He will take 10%. And he gonna take 10% of your tax, of your crops and vineyards, and give it to his officers and servants. He will take your male and female servants, your best young men, your donkeys. He will make them work for him. He will take the 10% tax of your flocks, and you will become his servants. When that happens, you will cry out on account of your king, whom yourselves have chosen. But when that happens, Yahweh will not answer you. Now, hold on. What do I need to process in my mind of what's being said that I'm asking for? Most High, you never asked us to do any of that stuff. None of that stuff was upon us. We didn't, the data in my mind is not registering with the fact that all of this stuff that you're telling me this new king is going to do, you never did. However, they having such a good time over there. We really want to be like them. We want a king like they have to judge us. If that's the way he's going to judge us, you know what we say? We're going to be good with that. Can I bring it forward to a current event? The man said, before he got elected, he said, I'm going to be a dictator on the first day. Did you not hear that? They go, well, like, that's okay. I mean, he likes what I like and he hates what I hate. Even though it's going to be bad, I'm going to go side with him. It's okay. The Most High says, well, listen. You're rejecting me. I brought you out from under all that. I've given you a life that I've given you the life to live like a queen, like a king in the land. And you want that. Okay. So now you've heard, right? However, what happened? Because of the data in their mind of their past experience and what they've seen, the people refused to listen to Samuel. It told them, and they said, no, we want a king over us so we can be like all the nations with our king to judge us and lead us and fight our battles. What did you forget? What did you forget? What battle have you gone into that you didn't have to fight? What battle did you go into where the Most High, with you in right standing with him, didn't go before you, and you besieged lands, and you took booty from them, and you did all these things, and now you want a king to lead you into battle to fight for you when you were victorious with me, and now you want a man to lead you. Data processing. My mind can't process this new thing, because it contradicts where I've been, and it contradicts what I'm seeing as the norm. Well, I see this as the norm, but you don't realize that you are the abnormal. You are a set-apart people. You are a peculiar treasure. You're different. You're not supposed to be like them. And being like them, getting back to the Eve story, is going to convolute your mind, and you're going to start believing something that's not true. How does it come through? Centuries of the eyes, the ears, touch, and taste. Oh, and by the way, they're partying over there. They got good morsel over there. What do we have? By the text, you know what they're saying? Oh, we got you. Come on, think about that. Oh, we got you. So now you wonder why it is that people can't make this transition. The data that's on their mind will not let them process that which is good from that which is not good. You know why? Because it's always been there. It's always been that way. And who are you little upstarts to come tell me that what I'm doing is idolatrous? It's not idolatrous. We worship on the Sabbath. We worship on Sunday. It's not idolatrous. How could it be idolatrous? Everybody does it. All the nations do it. How could we be wrong? My data system won't allow me to understand that it's wrong. And you're hearing truth. You're hearing something that's good. It's going to be better for you here than there. But guess what I'm not seeing? I don't see better here than there. You know why? Because I haven't stepped into the better so I can see it. As long as I'm in the darkness, I can't see the light. So my data system, my sensory perception of things, of hearing and seeing, is just not working. I hear you, but it's not working. As a matter of fact, I really like it over here. I mean, at least we had fish to eat. I mean, it was carp. It wasn't the best fish. You were eating fish with a whole lot of bone. At least we had this over here. What you guys got over there? I don't know what you guys got over there. Well, no, let's do something that the text says. Let's look at the text. Why don't you just come and let's reason with us? And why don't you come over here and taste and see? Why don't you come over here and understand that all this stuff that's been playing out in your mind and thoughts are part of the data that's been accumulated in your mind over years that makes you believe that, I got demons all around me. These demons are hunting me. These demons are, this evil spirit is upon me. Well, the evil spirit's coming from your own thoughts. There's no, evil thoughts in my mind. Oh, God, where'd they come from? I don't know where they come from. Thoughts? Where do thoughts come from? Let's go back to the definition of where thoughts come from. They're part of you. So as we look at this example here in Kings about Israel wanting a king for themselves, it follows the same pattern of getting back to Eve. What? You're doing something based upon the sensory perception of your eyes, your ears, your hands, and what you touch. What do I need to do, Israel? I need to do something. I need to guard my heart. How do I guard my heart? I guard my heart by meditating and thinking, for I will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed upon me. Oh, but he delivered me times. I mean, he delivered me so many times. I prayed to him, and I prayed to the guy, and he delivered me so many times. And now you're telling me that yes, I am. I'm telling you that. Would you believe me if I tell you he really didn't do it? Would you believe me if I told you that the Most High is long-suffering, he's patient, and he's merciful? Would you believe me if I told you that the Most High did not hear one word you said to that guy? He looked at the ignorance of your heart, bypassed what you said, and gave you the experience of knowing, I am your Jehovah. I'm your Jehovah Rapha. I'm your healer. I'm your provider. Because what you're going to say, you're going to get up there and you're going to get to preaching, and he's Jehovah Rapha, and he's Sisikanu, and he's this and he's that. Well, who's the he you're talking about? You talking about the guy that walks around with 2 feet? Or you're talking about the opulent spirit that can't be seen? Which one are you talking about? Because here's the problem in the whole process. Your deliverance and my deliverance comes from a place the Most High looks at the heart of an individual, and he judges us on our heart and our condition. Even in our ignorance, he judges us on our heart. I'm going to close with this. I think you got the issue. My mother was 111 years old at her passing just 2 weeks ago. At the age of 16, she was indoctrinated, she was baptized, and she was indoctrinated into the apostolic Christian way faith, okay? By Christian standard, my mother was saved. Now let me tell you about my mother being saved. My mother, for 111 years, never put her foot inside a movie theater. My mother never drank a drop of alcohol except for communion wine. My mother never listened to secular music by the volition of her own doing, only by hearing it because somebody else was playing it. By my mother's standard of text, my mother was set apart. She was. My mother never, you were never going to hear my mother use any kind of language out of her mouth that was not appropriate. So by Christian standards, actually, even by our own standard, except for not understanding the ways of the Most High, because she was never taught that, my mother was. You follow me? Their salvation and our salvation is different. We are delivered by our understanding and our walking in the principles of the Most High El. That's our deliverance. Watch this now. As long as we know the rules and we live our lives according to the rules and we obey, the Most High is going to deliver you. Not like the nations get delivered. He's going to deliver you with a permanent deliverance. And in the words of the song, it goes, no, no, you can't take that away from me. No, you can't take that away from me. My dependence is upon the fact that my spirit has heard and my eyes have seen those things that are written in text concerning the Most High. And the old data that was there that could have been a block got eradicated. So that now my spirit, heart, and mind are all in sync with the spirit of the Most High. So now my thoughts that come into my system are thoughts that are directed by him. I'm going to prove it to you. You all heard me say, I talked to you this week and I told you I had to go do something. I told you I had a fire in my belly. Remember I told you that? There was a lot of things I wanted to say. But when I sat down at my computer to write them out, they never would come out. The thoughts in my mind that I wanted to say never hit the page. And every time I would try to interject them into the conversation, somehow it didn't fit. You know why? Because my thoughts were being controlled by the Ruach, and the Ruach would not let me go outside of his righteousness. I have experiential knowledge. Would not. He knows. He knows what I wanted to say. He said, no, Robert, we're not saying that. I'm typing. We're not saying that. I don't feel and I'm reading it over and over again. I'm trying to inject me into the conversation. The Most High is letting me know this is not about you. You're going to write and you're going to say what I tell you to say. And you're going to be glad about it. You see what I'm saying? I saw, I heard, had data on my mind. He said, we're going to set that data aside. We're going to put some new data in there, and we're going to use this data. Let me close with these words. The steps of a good man are ordered by Yahweh. What your eyes see, what your ears hear, have got to be in a vein that cause you to meditate and think upon that which is always good and that which is always perfect. That in that act, you have now the tools to guard your heart. And then come on, I got to go across the street again. I got to go across the street. It's good. It's a good one. When you walk in the Spirit, you don't fulfill the lust and the desires of the flesh. That's a good proverb. It's a good one. It's a good one. It works. When I walk in, I'm about to do this. When you and I walk in the correction and allow the Ruach to guide us, we don't make a mistake. I could have messed it up. I could have said things that would have been hurtful and harmful. Because that was in my belly. Oh, yeah. And I had discussed all this with my family. So they knew what was in there. They didn't know what I had on that paper right there. They said to me, I was afraid of what you was going to say. And then they said, he whose life is right and whose speech is straight, he who scorns getting rich by extortion, he who shakes his hands free of bribe, stops his ears against talk of bloodshed, and shuts his eyes against looking evil. Such a person will live on the heights, his refuge a fortress among the cliffs, his food and water in steady supply. Where's that? Psalms what? Yahweh 30 what? Okay. Class. I've only given you these things to contemplate and consider, and to understand where thoughts come from, understand how this part of your mind up here in your brain controls everything. Your spirit is up there, your mind is up there, your heart is up there. And out of it, the things that are formulated that come out of your mouth and their action. So let us be cautious enough to allow everything that we do be that which is good and reflective in the Most High. That the Most High can look at you and say, hey, you did good. What better affirmation can you want? And to hear the Most High say, you did good. After all we've gone through, you did good. You did good, Yahweh. You did good, girl. Charles, hey man, you did good. You allowed your sensory perception to kick in. You heard me when I spoke to you. And when you heard me when I spoke to you, we didn't sit back and have a debate about it. Well, I think you're wrong, Most High. I don't think that's right. I think come on. You heard me, and when you heard me, you acted upon what I asked you to do. You were obedient. Listen, I learned something, Malka, this week in our podcast. Judgment comes in two fashions. Judgment comes when we do things wrong, but judgment also comes when we do things good. We get rewarded. We get judged on our goodness, and he rewards us for the goodness. When we do something bad, he judges that, and he rewards every man according to their actions. If you do good, you get, yeah, you did good. You don't do good, well, I'm gonna warn you. You're not doing good. Change. 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 It gets out to 10. And he says, oh, now you've left me with no other remedy. Now I've got to judge you. I got to judge you because you wouldn't change. We can't live our life happily. We roll along, merrily we roll along all the long day, and we're doing evil all the day, and we're doing wrong all the day. Happily we roll along. No, you're not happy. You're not happy. I'm surrounded, class. I am surrounded by people that are not happy. Oh, but Jesus, wait a minute. He don't make you happy? Why are you miserable? He's the joy of my salvation. Well, where's your joy? Because right now, all I'm hearing is woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. Well, I don't have that testimony. I'm not in a woe pattern. Why are you not in the woe pattern, Moray Holman? Because I follow the ways and the teachings of the Most High. That's why I'm not in a woe pattern. I know who's got my back. I'm not worried about you. You got it, class? Now, if anything happens to your mind, if you have a stroke or something happens to your mind, everything can be altered. My father was a gracious man. He was a kind individual. He was, those who knew Brother Bob, there was no shepherd like Brother Bob. Brother Bob got sick. He got real sick. And things started to mess with his mind. And things he never did before, he started to do. Why? Because his mind was being altered by his sickness. It wasn't him. He'd never do that in the right consciousness of his mind. So what do we have to do, class? Getting back to the principle, what do you do? Put a helmet on it, guard it. See, protect it. By all means, don't get a concussion. Don't get CTT, whatever it is. Protect it. Because this is your life source. This is your connection to the Most High. Don't let it become altered. Because the data that's in there is going to define your actions, your thought, and what you're going to say and what you're going to do. Got it? I'm done. Yabarakaka. Yahweh. The Ishmaraka. Yahweh Panavalaka Vekanuka. Yasa Yahweh Panavalaka Vayasham Laka Shalom. May the Most High of all things, who created all things, Yahweh, bless you and keep you. May Yahweh make his face to shine on you and show you favor. May Yahweh lift up his face toward you and give you shalom, give you peace. In the midst of whatever force is coming against you negatively, you're going to have peace. Because the Most High's face is directed towards you. Oh, class? Oh, heck yeah. I'm special. Don't get it twisted. I am special. And if I walk like I'm special, don't think I'm being arrogant. I'm not being arrogant. I'm just flaunting the point that I am special. And doggone it, you better recognize that I am special. I'm so special that when you're in trouble and you need help, you're going to call me. Because you recognize the Most High's favor rests upon me. Because I am special. I am Israel. And you witness how the Elohim of Israel has been working with. What does Ruth say? She said, hey, Naomi, we hooking up because I've seen what I'm going with you, girl. Where you go, I'm going. I'm hooking up with you. Yeah. You're special. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed week. Be strong in the Most High and the power of his might.